Yes.
For real this time. No echoes.
It's always for real.
No excuses. No gimmicks.
No wham bam. But still, thank you, ma'am.
Well, maybe some gimmicks. On occasion.
I mean, but when it's a good gimmick, it's not a gimmick. It's just, a good theme.
It's part of your character.
Or no, just your character. Or I guess in some ways, if you're a method actor, you just become your character.
Are you saying that's what you become when you become the bandit? Or you're just a bandit 24/7?
Oh, it's 50-50.
So I guess it rings true that on the stage you're just yourself turned up to 11. That's what they always say, wrestlers.
That's the way it should be. Because again, well, first of all, this is not a wrestling cast, folks, but stay tuned for that one.
On occasion, we are. Not this occasion, but on occasion.
When the harvest is right, you know what I'm saying?
When the mood strikes.
Or when there's
when the
just
lion shines off the turnbuckle just right.
Or just when it's that part of the rotation.
When we need ratings.
Nah, wrestling would be like our fifth. No, not fifth. I'll say like our fourth starter on the rotation.
Reliable, we wouldn't trade it away for anything. But
you definitely probably gonna have to go into the bullpen. Not earlier than you want, but you'll expect to. All right, so I guess we're doing some baseball shit right now.
Oh, masterful segue. No, before that.
No, just not a segue, just a little quick metaphor.
Oh, here we go.
We are very metaphoric here.
Often.
A lot of metaphors and what are those, similes? But most of the World Series championship winning teams, as a Yankees fan, I will say fuck the Astros. Well, fuck them, man. Congratulations to them.
Way to stay current.
Yeah, whatever. The squads that I grew up watching, they usually would have like two aces. And again, being a Yankees fan, it's weird because that dynasty, those four chips, I really can't say who the fuck their ace really was. It's just they were so overpowering in regards to like not having an ace, but because shit, even El Duque, bro, he wasn't old, but he was old by the time he got there. But
he added that dimension.
But see, again, you know what it is? That's what the Yankees were good at back then. They were good at getting dudes, especially pitchers. I can't even say pitchers. They were good at getting dudes that were either kind of like middle to like end of their prime, or they just had some good licks in them to where they would give you that David Cone no hitter.
It's funny, I talked about the perfect game earlier with someone else, with David Cone, but I would also, to add to your point, say that they also got those dudes who had chips on their shoulders at the right time. From the aforementioned
who were
teams,
on the wrong teams, yeah.
Who felt like they didn't have any value, stuff like that. So
now again, we're talking about a whole different. Well, we're talking about like 2, maybe 3 different eras ago, and we're talking about shit, a totally different economy. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, theoretically speaking, you kind of had to go to like those big market teams back then. Now it's like, you know what I'm saying? You could be a fucking Kansas City Royals and win a championship, even though, and look, to their credit, they did play in like 2 back-to-back fucking World Series. Yeah, two back-to-back, and if I'm not mistaken, they took the Giants, who were at least 2-time World Series champions. They took them to Game 7.
10 Lincecum squads, right?
Lincecum. Lincecum. What was that? Madison Garner. Madison. Just Madison. And there was another marquee player that they had. I forgot his name right now. But Tim, whatever his name was, Timmy Big John. He was more like that first championship. The one I'm talking about, shit. And you know what? Again, that shows you evolution. That shows you, speaking of evolution, we will get to actual topics that we want to talk about this evening. But, listen, you know what I'm saying? It's November. You know what I'm saying? The World Series just ended. If you're a sports fan, like a true sports fan, and, well, a true American sports fan, October and November, the fall season is definitely, you know what I'm saying, when we get our fixes. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, it's the literal determiner of all the major sports. Football season, most of it is played in the fall. The key games, you know, your weeks basically 8 through 12, you know, take place right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Basketball season ramps up pretty much around Christmas time.
Not to mention, you know what I'm saying, the
best fights of the year.
I was about to say that combat
July,
sports.
Are
the
in
combat
November,
sports.
Usually.
Oh shit! This Saturday we have, which should be, it should be a woo banger of a card at the Garden. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Shit. If we were to go into that, this may be a 3-hour cast, but we won't. But
I already got that other 3-hour cast we did last episode. Go watch that, please and thank you. Which will be uploaded by the time I upload this.
We may try to do a little UFC short. We may try to do that. But definitely Dustin and fucking Michael Chandler. That's gonna be it's gonna be a banger. Zhang and this chick is gonna be alright.
I'm more looking forward to that. I want to see if Jean get that title back. I
also
want to see if Carla, you know, as the underdog she is, kind of guts it out. Like she keeps gutting it out throughout the years and beating people.
That's what I was about to say. It
that seems supposed to dominate her. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like she's always the underdog.
Yeah, well, because and I don't want to say that this is my analysis, because the last couple fights, she's shown me a more well-rounded game, especially in winning the title and having the guts to gut it out and win that title, especially against an all-time great, you know.
I was about to say, because the last fight I saw was her and the Thug one.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she lost that more because of
Rose was having one of her, and again, I don't want to take it away from Carla because Carla clawed her way to that title shot, and Carla already beat her before, so it was a doable win for her. I didn't think she was gonna do it because again, her striking still kind of leaves something to be desired, but she went in there and didn't act like she was, you know, the underdog like she has done in all these other fights that she wasn't supposed to win and wins.
True indeed.
And a lot of people want to boil it down to, well, she just wrestle fucks you and that's it. I was like, nah, you can't. Not at that higher level of the rankings.
She does that now.
And wrestling is her calling card, but I feel like it's just it doesn't just come down to that now.
No,
you know, she fucks.
But if you want to remain champion, then
she got that. That's elite. That's her shit. That's what she leads with. But it's not just that. That's not why she guts wins out. Much in the way that people ascribe that to Colby, like they just think he wrestle fucks you and that's that. It's like, no, he's a incredibly well-rounded fighter with a seemingly infinite gas tank, and you have to kill this man basically to win, or you're gonna get decision.
But see, that's the thing though.
Fuck the decision, or beat
anybody
up
that's saying that's about Colby right now, Colby, like you can't say that because he could stand up with anybody in the fucking game.
I'm just saying that. That's what you hear often. They think, oh, Colby's just gonna pound you out and that's it. You know?
That's because of that MAGA shit.
He'll wear you out. You know, I know that's part of it. That you could say that's
that's mostly it because look, Colby Covington is a professional wrestler in the UFC, bro, and I give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands. Now, you know, when you talk about the fight game, clearly that's more like boxing and wrestling, like back in the day. So again, a lot of people don't understand, or they won't give credit where credit is due, but they don't understand that Muhammad Ali got a lot of his shit talking from wrestling. You know, superstar Billy Graham, fucking Big Cat Ernie Ladd. You know what I'm saying? Real various historical shit talkers back when shit talking was an art. Now again, shit, what we're doing right now is shit talking. But at the same time, we are of that ilk of like, yeah, we learn from the best.
Yeah, we grew up, we're in that generation that grew up with, and I hate to just ascribe it to him because there are so many greats. So I'm going to go with the guy I always bring up first, which is the master of the sports machine.
Yes.
Your man, George Michael. But
nah, even beyond that.
But
bro.
people always bring up Stephen A. because he was the innovator of that. Like, at least at a high profile. Because, you still have Woody Page. You still had all these other guys who were doing the same thing. But Stephen A. brought it in a way that, crossed over. And so much so that...
In regards to, like, real,
you got
like...
guys like Skip, and you got guys like Shannon Sharp. And,
well, it was Skip before Stephen A. It was Skip before Stephen A.
Yeah, but he found the swag when he had his foil. You know what I'm saying? It was like iron sharpened iron.
Well, no, because, in reality, Skip was talking shit since, what, the 70s?
Forever. No, I'm saying forever. But, again...
But in regards to, like, that mainstream platform...
And he didn't have an antagonist who could stand up to him like that. In the sense that...
like, the funny shit is...
They were just bullshit, you know what I'm saying, on cold pizza or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like...
I wouldn't even say that. All right. No. Woody Page was bullshitting, but Woody Page was bullshitting because he knew he was leaving.
Yeah.
But at the same time... That combination at that time was beautiful because it was kind of like an odd couple. You have Skip, who's like this stern fucking nerd, and Woody Page, who seems like he's maybe a stoner, but he's not.
Yeah, who probably got, the bottle of yak under the desk. But,
Maybe. Well, nah, you know what I'm saying. Oh, shit, maybe Skip, whatever. But there's a reason Woody went from Connecticut to Denver. So I'll say that.
Yeah. But while we had this quick break, 12 minutes into the episode, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Triple P's.
They're used to that, man.
I know, but I didn't want to get too sucked into the vortex before we got that out.
First of all, we've mastered the vortex.
Yeah.
The reality is, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? When you go out on a date, or you know what I'm saying, you just out at the restaurant with the fam or your mans and them. Sometimes you may just order just nothing but appetizers. Sometimes you may just get, you know what I'm saying, an appetizer, your meal, and some drinks. Sometimes you get a couple of appetizers, you get a couple of fucking entrees. Point is, that's why they come back to us, because they know the wings are always going to be hot and fresh. They always know that the sauce is always going to be saucy. And they always know, definitely, if nothing else, those drinks are going to get your ass, we may have to walk you out at the end of the night.
Truly saucy words said there by the light-skinned bandit. I am one of the liquid snakes. I'm sure there's millions in the world at this point. But one of them.
But he is the one of the most liquidity.
Indeed. But welcome back, guys, gals, non-binary pals. We missed you.
We always miss you.
Even after the epic episode that was the last one, I was still kind of, itching. I wanted to take advantage of whatever lingering birthday magics are remaining inside of me to put out something nice, something fun, something smooth, which is what this year's birthday seemed to be.
You know what I'm saying? And it's still the season of the snake.
Sure is. And there's the title of the episode. Roll credits. Kill the video. It's done. We did it. It's over. But to go back to what we were talking about, so being raised by these showmen, I just bring up Stephen A. because he's like the avatar of it. But
of course,
we talk about like coaching trees a lot. And he definitely has like this huge tree of like all sorts of people branching out from him. And a generation, of us who were just watching him. Me personally, as much as I liked watching him and Skip and First Take and all these things, I loved Pardon the Interruption more and Around the Horn because I am an arguer and a debater. So watching that helped me learn way more about. And I'm not saying that those other shows weren't informative those other guys didn't teach me nothing. It's just that seeing it like kind of game showed, as it were, made into a game.
Yeah, and
like,
those shows were on.
It helped things stick, you know what I'm saying? And it gives credit to these guys, you know, like your
They
dad.
had the most exposure back then.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to disrespect the man or anything, but like no one cares about like who Kevin Blackistone was before he's on TV, you know, saying his cool ass Kevin Blackistone shit, or Woody Page, or any of these
Most
characters.
of those reporters,
you know, it's like
bro.
any of those guys.
I mean, look, the ESPN analyst, reporter, shit, just most of the employees, bro. I mean, look, just the fact that they have, you know, the fucking This Is Sports Centers.
Yeah.
That brought a lot of exposure to a lot of people, man. And like, it's fucked up because they're celebrities, but they don't get paid like celebrities.
They don't, and they gotta work like them long years just to get to like your Scott Van Pelt, you know, level and shit like that.
Shout out to Joy Taylor, man.
Or even just, you know, your Tim Legler, you know, people and stuff like that. So
yeah, unless you like you have like a full-fledged show that you host, and even then you probably like what are you really doing? But I mean, look, life is a hustle, so I get it. Like, unless you're the main name on a show, because again, look, Joy Taylor was the first, yes, you call her like moderator on Undisputed. Now we're like, what are we like, two or three moderators in?
Yeah.
No, three now. But it be like that. You know what I'm saying, so I get it. Like, you know, it's a hustle out there, but you know, shout out to all of y'all that y'all aren't on y'all I won't throw that name out there, but y'all not on y'all whole shit.
Yeah. You know, I guess to the degree that, you know, you have some autonomy under a company like that. That is notoriously petty and will fire you for whatever, you know. So
they're working for the rodent, son. They're working
true.
for the mouse.
They gotta tread lightly.
And again, like, I don't understand that, because you signed that contract. You signed on for that. So again, you can complain, you can do whatever you want to, but at the same time, like, that's a major big homie in the fucking
entertainment.
Life.
Yeah.
In life.
Oh, just playing the game. Yeah.
It's just in life, bro. So like, once you sign on to that, you gotta know what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? And I don't want to put it in these words, but you either gonna sell your soul or you're not. Because look, if you want to say what you want to say, then don't sign that contract. If you wanna be on your
Jamel Hill.
Not even Jamel Hill, like your Malika Andrews shit.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And she fucked up because she tried to really like jump out there, not realizing what level she was on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you gotta realize where you're working. You know what I'm saying? It's a secret society. All he asks is trust.
And, you know, loyalty, fealty, and that's part of it. Because sometimes, you know, in their mild defense, you know, yeah, you sign a contract, you know, you're locked into whatever it is they lock you into.
That and way more than the streets, you don't snitch.
Yeah. Or if you're going to do it, you do it on the outside.
Or if you snitch, you make sure you get that protection.
Exactly. You're gone. You're in the winds.
You know what I'm saying? You got to change your name. And next you know, you the hottest motherfucker in Omaha.
You know, or more importantly, you know, you just have enough of a shield or some security in your life and your career to, you know, take shots. Because the most they can do, I guess, is sue you. But
no, you could do that, but you're not working for them anymore.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Once you do that, like, you're not part of the regime
of any of that, you know.
Again, which is fine, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a little forecasting, but you can be you could be a billionaire now and still get canceled. But at the same time,
it depends.
No, bro, Kanye was a billionaire, son.
Is still.
No, he's not. They took all, like, his assets made him a billionaire, but he's not.
Oh yeah, that knocks off some of that valuation, right?
Balenciaga, Adidas, and I forgot what the other company was. They stopped fucking with him.
Yeah, those are his main plums.
Now again, we're talking about somebody that, all right, if asset wise or when you talk about equity, he's still worth about like $400 million. But like when you liquidate that type of shit, he's only worth about $160.
Word.
Which ain't shit. If you're talking about a nigga that's we're 20 minutes in. A nigga that's trying to claim that he's running for president
and has an empire and
had an
you
empire.
know is this most talented black billionaire ever. All these things and kudos, truly. But shit, shit.
Like, bro, like, again, son, you gotta know how to, like, we was talking about Swordfish earlier. You gotta know how to maneuver within the matrix, bro. Like, I get, like, yeah, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Yes, I am. But at the same time, bro, like, yelling and screaming ain't doing nothing, bro. Now, there was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes where people were quiet. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We like it, whatever you want. Boy, it's chess. I was about to say it's chess. I was about to say it's boxing. It's Chinese chess boxing.
Chess boxing.
That's what it is, bro. All right. Know when to throw the haymaker. Know when to put the pawn out there for a little while.
And sit on the board. Maybe get your brain back a little bit. There seems to be, and I don't want to make this about celebrity, even though we're about to talk about Kyrie in a bit because it's an excellent segue into it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say of late because famously with Professor Griff of Public Enemy, he was on that the Jews Run the World and media stuff. Nick Cannon more recently also was on this, and a couple of other notable guys I can't think of right now. But they definitely blackballed Professor Griff so that Public Enemy could keep going. Nick Cannon, I wouldn't say got canceled, but he just kind of shut the fuck up for a while and, went back to doing the thing he's known for, which is, having kids and being a game show host. He's
and dancing to a degree.
And dancing to it and trying to rap, I guess.
And
but,
again, to his credit, like, Nick Cannon is always, well, as far as I've known him in his, like, adulthood, he's always been like outspoken and you know what I'm saying, very a lot of people want to use the word woke. Meanwhile, a lot of motherfuckers still sleep out there, but he's always been somebody that has vocalized this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Not in these, not like these specific words, but
well, that's why he felt safe to do it on his, and I get it was his platform. I have this little platform that I feel safe to say all types of like weird and wild ass shit that I'm sure people do not agree with whatsoever.
Yeah, but you're not a millionaire.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a high profile nigga either. So
ain't nobody listening to you. Nah.
Sometimes I think about that. I think about not that I expect to be anyone of note or anyone important. Honestly, nor do I want to be, especially given the type of world we live in now in terms of exposure and oversharing and you name it. Some would argue that I'm oversharing just doing this thing, but as I've said many, many times, this is an outlet for me. This is fun. Like, I'm a slave most of the goddamn time, so I should at least have a little bit of fun somewhere. But I think about Sammy Guevara in that when he got strung up essentially for his comments about Sasha Banks a couple years ago, that I won't repeat. You could go look it up. Y'all know what it is. If you know, you know. And again, this isn't to argue that, he shouldn't have been punished or any of these things. I just think about like how they really like had to go and dredge that. And that's what's going to happen. Like if someone wants to take you out, they're going to try to dredge whatever they can find on you.
Yeah, of course.
Now it's just so much easier to do so. So while I'm not overly concerned, it's just something I think about sometimes.
No, I mean, you have to when you're in front of this mic, man.
Yeah, again, even at the level that I'm at, which is, niggas just chilling in the mailroom, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, happy to do it. Like, I have a good time. That's the point, is to have a good time and rant about how bad Mortal Kombat is. But,
I'm saying?
But all that said, I guess there's a question here, which will link into the Kyrie thing, in case you guys haven't been paying attention. to Kanye or Ye, sorry, because he's legally Ye now, to any of that. It seems like we're having another wave of famous black celebrities kind of espousing a lot of black Israelite shit. And again, people can believe what they want. Honestly, like, please, like, they roasted Kyrie for the flat earth thing, and they roasted him for all this and that. Like, go ahead, man. Like, he's doing his research. Clearly, the research is a little insane, but he's doing it, so let him do it.
And all that shit really, like, all of that has influenced, like, what, like, his true message now. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, perception will always be subjective. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's a public fucking perception, it's still subjective. As
he himself has alluded to, which is why his answers are really evasive and kind of slippery.
Yeah, and that's a problem because, like, all right, if you're really this witty fucking, like, you know what I'm saying,
mind,
intellectual,
intellectual.
Should you not know how to verbally maneuver this shit when you're in front of a mic? Again, when you sign that contract, talking to the media is part of that. Not to mention, listen, bro, you got drafted in 2011, nigga. And I'm gonna say that to him, nigga. You got drafted in 2011, all right? You're 11 years in the game now, and you really want to do all this fucking, oh yeah, the media is, you know, a bunch of puppets, a bunch of trolls. Like, all right, if they're a bunch of puppets, then...
And he's right to a degree.
Yes, okay, but at the same time, he won a championship with a dude that kind of knows how to dictate his own narrative.
And is firmly entrenched in, like, that media, like, storm, you know, because of who he is, his profile, his money, you know, the person he has chosen to be, you know.
Regardless,
in the world,
you've been in the league for a minimum of 10 years now, and you still want to talk about this whole, you know, the media does this. Bro, like, your words are going to hang. So, aren't you supposed to choose your words very wisely? Are you not supposed to choose your...
Well, not if he's on, and what he seems to be on, just based on that press conference the other day when they try to be like, are you anti-Semitic or not, basically? Do you espouse anti-Semitic beliefs? And as many smarter, better edited, whatever, you know, sportscasters and pundits and people who cover this type of shit have said, all you had to do is say yes or no. And that's it. And he just did this whole slippery, like, you know, I know where I come from, I can't be anti-Semitic, you know, which a lot of people have analyzed that as, you know, he's on his Kanye, like, I am Jew too, so I can't be anti-Semitic.
They always bring up the Moors, but they don't realize the Moors were very diplomatic. They wasn't out here cutting motherfuckers' throats and being like, yeah, I'm a Nick.
Now, here's why I will mildly defend these guys, Nick Cannon, even Professor Griffin, people who are kind of in this vein. I get why they feel the need to lash out.
Bro, the conversation needs to be had because, again, this shit has been happening. And, again, you don't have to be within the fucking entertainment industry to see what the fuck is going on. It's right in front of you. All right? It's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to notice the signs, go ahead. But at the same time, a lot of people just want to get up and just get caught up in the bullshit and the gossip and the...
Well, it's easier to, is it not? And that was the point I was going to make because, like you said, conversation needs to be had, but how can it be had in a media that is so tightly controlled by whoever? Whoever it is. Like,
no, because, I mean, again, they want to ease into it. Kanye is handling shit the way he always handles it, which is a pure fucking nigga. And, I mean, having this conversation is both... It's a beautiful nightmare.
Yeah.
My beautiful dark nightmare, son. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, that's one of the greatest albums that ever fucking came out. But a lot of people don't want to have it because, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna make them look themselves in the mirror. And because look, when you talk about Kanye, you have to talk about, you know what I'm saying, him, you gotta talk about his moms, you gotta talk about Jay-Z, you gotta talk about fucking, you have to talk about Kim. You have to talk about Kim Ye.
And just all that whole like trajectory he just went through. That is his as a young man, because he's been doing this since he was a teenager, right? As a young man, going through all these heavily traumatic events, highs and lows, successes and defeats, and not really addressing the trauma behind, his mother's passing. People, to give you a peek behind who I am actually, people have often said to me, and not like to, tear me down or anything like that, but given how I've acted in social situations towards people in my relationships in certain ways, a lot of people have told me, it's like, look, you have not yet processed the death of your mother. My mother died almost a couple days from now, almost 16 years ago, something like that.
06?
16. It's been a while. It's like 2000. Yeah, 06. Yeah. So 16. So and I'm just some dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not some billionaire like superstar, artist or whatever. So imagine, you are enshrouded, and all these people kind of sucking you off about how great you are. You're sucking your own self off about how great you are. You're doing all these things in your life. You never.
And I mean, by that
it seems
point,
like he's never had time to like sit and like heal. Honestly.
Well,
Besides,
first of all,
the time Kim or whoever it was got him to take his meds for his bipolarity, if that indeed happened.
No. Well, there's I don't know. There's definitely several different layers to Kanye. Son.
Yeah, but I just want to go with the surface ones that
I get it.
As someone who can look at that and see what's up, kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is, again, this guy is also a master, troll and a master of getting reactions out of people, and, what is spectacle and what is him at this point,
He's an egomaniac.
Yeah.
I get that. Just because of, just the way he was raised. You know what I'm saying? If you know what's up with him and how he was raised and, like, luckily his father's still around, so he still has a parent to kind of like hone him
carry
in.
The weight of that.
Hone him in if that's possible. But I mean, look, I put it like this, bro. If Kanye West really wants to, if he really wants to become Malcolm X, I'll respect that. But if at the end of the day he just, you know what? I feel like he really does believe the shit he says, so I feel like he'll go all the way. With Kyrie, bro, it's hard. It's hard for me to really look at him in that way, just because, like, I'm seeing Colin Kaepernick, but just on a way smaller spectrum. So.
Great comparison, great segue. I've been using that word too much this episode. Great.
Well, you use that in every episode.
Great transition. In that those cases involved a guy who was kind of on that victimization shit. And trust me, the Bandit will tell you. I've asked him, as someone who is more well versed in the league and the politics of the league and stuff like that, like, why did they blackball him in such a way? Why did they do this to him? It seems to not make sense to let a high quality talent like that just kind of fade out the league.
Colin?
Yeah.
Well, I won't say high level talent. But.
Well, you know what I'm saying? He's not a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, same argument I've made so many times. Like, we've seen worse people start and sign contracts and stuff like that, for good money. I mean, and again, I'm not saying he deserves it or anything like that. I just wanted to know why.
No. Even still to this day, he deserves a backup role. Regardless,
he should be on the field. He loves the game. It's not even about his money. He's good money-wise. He's good, whatever.
The way, all right, that last, like, quote-unquote tryout, that was some bullshit, but, whatever.
But, that was more...
That was some bullshit on both sides, and...
That was more spectacle than anything else, so... I'm
not mad at the way he tried to handle that, but at the same time, my nigga, a job interview is a job interview. So, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. But... It seems like these guys are kind of on this tip of victimization, and being like, well, you guys in the media, and again, they're not wrong. The media presses and contorts and twists and warps your narratives in so many ways because that makes money.
And again, if you want to give yourself that label as a fucking
activist.
Not even just activist.
Because that's what the latter did.
It's not even activist because you could, like, there's plenty of dudes, especially in the NFL, that were being activists. if you want to call yourself a fucking a martyr, all right, somebody that's really about that life, then you can't be a professional athlete.
Well, yeah, because you signed a contract, right? Yeah, you signed
but at the same time, because then you're contradicting yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're not a martyr if now again, like, the best way is to infiltrate and then take over from within. I get that.
And build your own platform, especially nowadays, because even if you are a representative of another company, which, yes, can be a tremendous hindrance.
But that's what...
You can still launch yourself off that. But to your point that you made a couple minutes ago...
That's 50% of being a professional athlete.
Yeah. Well, and you also got to get ready...
Well, like playing a team sport. You know, tennis, golf, you can be your own entity. But, if you're playing a team sport for a franchise, then, like, that franchise's name is on you.
Yeah. You're a representative of them.
Especially when you try to dictate your own terms to that specific fucking team. Probably knowing that nobody else wanted to fuck with you because you were riding the coattail / carriage of your quote unquote man who don't even fuck with you no more.
Yeah, someone else's greatness.
Y'all can figure out what I'm trying to say. If y'all can't, then
I mean, it's fairly apparent. So that's where he's at, and that's why I brought up the press conference that he was in the other day, because again, he's like, you know, he's on this I'm a being of light and shit like that. And again, I'm all for, you know, sticking to this brand of like, I'm this intellectual and I bring people together, and I want human beings to come together and all that hippie, you know, Native American shit. I'm with it. And to my Native Americans, I'm not diminishing your culture or none of that. It just seems that Kyrie is kind of using his branding as a shield to just be like, I'm not going to answer these tough questions because, you know, you guys are always after me. You guys are always twisting my words around. You guys are always...
Yeah, he didn't apologize until shit got real.
Exactly.
Now, again, that was forced, but my thing is this, bro. Like, and I'm going to always go back to this. If you're really that much of an intellectual, then you should be able to verbalize, like, your message way better. Instead of, like, it being
moreover, not to necessarily do what Kanye did, but Kanye smartly went on platforms, to his detriment or not, smartly went on platforms that would have him. And Kyrie is just choosing Ball Media to air his fucking grievances.
Even with Kanye, like, to his credit, that, like you said, that was him trying to, like, clarify.
Yeah.
Or really, like, he, like, that, like, to his credit, even though he is crazy ass nigga Kanye, that was him trying to spark discussions.
Which I appreciate. It would just be easier for him, and something he's done, and many other celebrities in his...
All Kyrie is doing is trying to counterbox when nobody's throwing shots at him.
Yeah, and saying, "Oh, you guys hit me too much."
Exactly.
You know,
I'm saying, like, he's throwing shots. Then when people throw shots at him, he's trying to counterbox, being like, "Nah, y'all the ones that are attacking me."
And I partially understand, given the flat Earth thing and his having drama with the team and his just kind of doing whatever and being on his diva shit. I get it, but also, you signed a contract though. Like,
so again, when you cry wolf so many fucking times.
Why are you mad when no one has your back, really? How are you surprised?
Who's going to have your back, bro? You look stupid. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, bro, like, if you're really that fucking smart and you're really this fucking ring general that you claim to be, then you should know how to pick and choose. Well, I don't want to say pick and choose your battles, but you should know how to maneuver within the war, bro. If you're a general, then you know, like, all right, bet, boom, this battle's going to be this battle's going to be that. Let me say this here, but let me not say this here. But I'm damn sure going to say what I need to say.
Yeah, but like a lot of loudmouth know-it-all assholes, trust me, I'm one of those. At least the know-it-all asshole part. He's not going to concede. Conceding is weakness. Concession is weakness until forced by your job, because they're like, listen, we will send your ass home.
Bro, he already conceded when he apologized.
Yeah, but like you said, he forced it. It was a forced one. It wasn't. He don't believe that shit.
But even within that,
not sincere.
But even within that, if that was the case, then that's when he should have walked away.
Yeah.
If you're really in
or said the first time, I understand, because I feel like what those reporters are trying to do, besides being like, hey, are you anti-Semitic, yes or no, is more like, you know, your words have impact, right? Like you said, his words hang. So your words have impact, right? So if
convey the message the right way.
Yeah, you have to show your people. This is your responsibility. You have to show these people. And hey, if you want to be on your Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model, blah 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 blah. That
was a commercial. First,
I understand that. I'm just saying that people often reference that when they talk about his being an asshole. Which again, those two don't link together. No. I'm just saying that they bring it up as an example. And again, that commercial
had to come out. It had to come out. It had that type of shit had to be said because people are retarded, bro. You know what I'm saying? The common folk don't get it. That's why we have to have these discussions because shit won't be fucking defined unless you really say it.
I don't know if anyone's asked him this during the anti-vax thing that was going on while he was wilding. That goes back to what is that? Crown Fryer Peach Cobbler at the End of the World was that episode. Go watch that if you guys haven't. Great episode. Where he didn't seem to care that his and Nicki Minaj's statements were causing hysteria. They caused hysteria at the Barclays over this bullshit. And who knows how many people got COVID and died because of this nigga. And I don't want to specifically pin it on him, but it's like they were there because of what his beliefs are, what his stance was. And they decided to come out and support him because of who he is. Because he could play basketball real good. And I'm not saying that athletes don't deserve our support or anything like that. I'm never going to be like, just shut up and dribble, because that's stupid. That's
but the reality is, bro, the only reason you're known is because you have an ill fucking crossover you can score, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get the beliefs, I get all that, and yeah, athletes should be more involved with that. But the problem is,
it should be free to express them in some way.
The problem, is a lot of these athletes
not waiting until they get out the league and retire, and then be on your knuckleheads, or Up in Smoke podcast or whatever. Shout out to those guys. To feel like you're free and safe enough to do so.
A lot of these athletes aren't really that in tune, bro.
Well, that's why I brought those guys up, because all four of those guys had to get older and wizened and become grown men and really go through it to be able to share that experience and convey it in a way that we can fucking relate to it.
Yeah. And part of me feels like that is what Kyrie is going through, but at the same time,
he's being an asshole about it. And that's not.
I wouldn't even say he's being an asshole, bro.
It's not gonna translate well.
A lot of that, a lot of that has to do with just how he was raised, my nigga. And I can see that a lot of that is through his pops, man. Okay. And you know what? Look, again, I respect that. You're talking about, a black man that raised his child to
be strong and
be successful
and stand his ground and all that is wonderful.
But at the same time, you could tell, he's not really in Kyrie's ear the way he should be. Or if he is, then Kyrie's just all the way out there. But
or it's on that vicarious shit. Yeah, this is what I wanted to be. Now that Kyrie is who he is.
Yeah. I mean, look, we can easily look at it that way, and I would prefer not to.
No, that's just speculation. I don't have proof. I don't have nothing.
But at the same time, something is still missing. Clearly, if Kyrie's saying all this dumb shit and it's not it's not registering to him that he probably shouldn't say some of this shit he says. Again,
at least if he cares about basketball, to your point a couple minutes ago.
If he cares about,
if you're ready to hang it up. Then do this.
Please, I respect you for that.
Be this person, do what you gotta do.
But you cannot tote the line, bro.
But
you can't play both sides. You can't. He's not good enough to play both sides.
Exactly. Mr. Abdul Rauf, who was robbed of what would have been honestly a fantastic NBA career.
Blackballed. He was blackballed.
They destroyed that man. Do I think they'll do this to Kyrie? Probably not. I think they'll just let him kind of be an idiot publicly for a while. Because the suspension has already happened.
That.
So
they've been doing that, and I mean, it's to the point where it's all right, again, now Kyrie is really he's really on a boat that legitimately deserves to you know what I'm saying, be able to dock and we see what's up, but all his other shit previously to this, that's what's fucking people up.
That's why I mentioned the flat Earth stuff. That's why I mentioned.
Yeah,
I don't want to say anti-vax because he wasn't necessarily anti-vax, but
I mean, it's all of that, bro.
All right, I don't want to say this dude is anti-vax because I feel like that kind of minimalizes things. But the reaction to what he said was an anti-vax thing. The reaction to what Nicki said was anti-vax. The reaction to various people, and I don't want to make this discussion of COVID because we had that discussion in that episode, but It is astonishing to me, as you've been saying in the last couple minutes, that again, a self-professed intellectual cannot understand the impact of his words, and that when he says things like that, that causes anti-Semitic things to happen, which happened on Twitter, which happened on all social media, emboldened by the things that their guy is saying. The mob, the hordes are saying worse things than Kyrie would have ever said or probably believes.
You can't say let him play if he's spitting a bunch of hateful shit, man.
In a league that just not that long ago got done with the bubble and had equality and all these.
I get it, but at the same time, look, yes, we're struggling. I get it, but you know what I'm saying, like he's not Malcolm X. Kanye is not fucking Malcolm X. All right, Kanye claims he's ready to die for this shit. Cool. Kyrie hasn't said that, but it is what it is. But at the same time, look, if you're gonna be that, then be that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be that wearing a fucking jersey, because then you're still a fucking slave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't give me all that shit about beliefs. Don't give me that shit about him. My mother was a damn teacher, all right? And I don't give a fuck about him talking about he's the voice for the. No, he's not a voice for them. They the ones that was losing money. He's still a fucking millionaire, still playing ball, all right?
And moreover,
don't give me that, man.
As we've said before, he sunk the team. He sunk the fucking team. He sunk two teams technically.
The Nets probably would be way better off had he never been on there, because they would still have at least 2 or 3 of those key pieces we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, all-star level players. For those people who don't know, we still had a Caris LeVert.
At least Jared Allen. Who they need.
And Spencer Dinwiddie.
Who they need.
Who were 3 players who were developed very well.
They were lucky to keep Joe Harris, but they probably should have got rid of him.
Yeah, he's a little injury prone, but again, he's another
example. They all are.
Of a guy, guys who are feeling the strain because they have to carry the weight of their fucking diva teammates who are so busy being in their feelings.
They weren't even around for that, but you know what I'm saying? Look, that Nets team.
I'm saying those guys suffered because of those moves, that beard move, all these moves, only because of the whims of the star players. And I understand star players have influence. I understand that they have a say, but as people have remarked over the last couple of weeks, KD and Kyrie's fucking says, Rex have it on team, and then they didn't even stand behind it because now Steve Nash is fired, and they were the ones being like, well, Steve Nash's fault that we can't play well.
Well, they was fronting on him since day one.
Which is hilarious.
Kyrie especially, bro. He was the first one saying that, we really don't need a coach. First of all, listen, bro. No professional athletes ever say that type of dumb shit. Man. You have a head coach for a reason, bro. But to real, you stupid motherfuckers in, bro. And that's why, shit don't work because, again, is Kyrie Irving a better player than Steve Nash? Yes. Is he a better basketball mind? Probably not. And the way Kyrie is acting, he's not a better world mind than Steve Nash, bro.
Yeah.
Keep 100. Because, again, for you to create change, bro, sometimes you got to blow shit up and sometimes you just have to fucking talk and be diplomatic about
Steve Nash, diplomatic is an excellent word. Steve Nash, for Steve Nash, who is a diplomatic type of guy, he always has been in the league. You never hear anyone say anything bad about him.
Yeah, who should have never had that job.
Definitely, but it's the Jason Kidd paradox. Oh well, we respect them so much, and they're the greatest point guards of all time. Isaiah Thomas, same shit. All these guys who are great players, but they didn't sit under the trees like your Ime Udokas and people like that to become coaches, like real coaches.
Yeah, no, I get it. They were superstars.
And I get it, of course your pedigree is gonna, get you in the door in a way that, Popeye Jones is not gonna get you, or it should even a guy like Nate McMillan, who is a respected dude.
Magic was a coach and he sucked.
What does that tell you? That's what I'm saying. It seems like these elite guys they don't have it, pal. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but they came up in a different way. It seems like being
it's not even that. Sometimes you just can't really relate in regards to the total team spectrum if you're a superstar because you're that's so much above them.
Yeah, you live in a different lane. You live in a different existence practically, depending on the franchise you're in.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that a lot of these quote unquote middle of the road players are able to have so much success at coaching because they're about the passion of it. They're about the X's and O's and all that.
Oh, that, and they are way more
That
behind
said,
the scenes.
Jason Kidd is much improved than he was when he started.
Of
but
course.
Which goes to show you what his basketball IQ is about and how seriously he takes it.
And in some ways, you can compare like the first team he had to the first team that Steve Nash had in regards to like a lot of fucking egos, man.
Yeah, and looking at this dude like, yo, who's this old nigga? That's Jason Kidd. Like, what do you mean, who's this old nigga?
J Kidd.
There, that's how true it is. Like,
J Kidd had got way more respect than Steve Nash ever got.
That's true, because at least he wasn't buried like almost right out the gate. They more buried him because he wanted to be the GM and the coach, which is wild.
Yeah, meanwhile, the coach they should have kept, like they got rid of, and you know, now they're paying for that shit like real jackasses. But you know what? You get what you want, man. Like they thought they was really doing something coming out to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Really trying to do some shit. Yeah, fuck the Knicks. We going to Brooklyn. There's a culture. Nah, fuck you. All right. None of you niggas are leaders. None of y'all are fucking real. Y'all are franchise scorers, but y'all not real franchise like players. Shit, even KD to this point, man. Honestly.
Another victim. One of my favorite players, but another victim.
Nah, because he wants to be, bro. And, you know, he has his championships, and that's what it is. Like, Kyrie came here, like, any team he goes to, he's always going to come through like, yeah, I'm that championship dynasty player. I'm this, I'm that. Boy, get the fuck out of here, son. Like, come on, bro. Like,
my man is on that Hito Turkoglu sauce right now, son.
Well, no, I mean, he at least has a ring, but
and that he earned.
Yeah,
but niggas bugging. He's bugging.
Bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be this intellectual, meanwhile, you only giving me, 40-something games a year? All right, cool, be the intellectual, but don't come on court.
And then rationalize it, being like, well, y'all got me in the postseason or whatever. Like,
because, again, him running his mouth and him doing all this other shit, son, you know what real intellectuals do? They become coaches. That's how true it is.
There you go. So, yeah, it's true. I guess I thought of this question a couple minutes ago, but, you know, niggas is on the flow there. Do you buy him out? Because that's what we're discussing right now. As of today, which is, the 5th now? 6th now? I don't know. All the days blur together at this point.
No, you're not going to buy him out because it's too late at this point. Like,
well, they're talking about it. I mean, they'll just Ben Simmons him then, presumably, for at least most of the season. Because they're definitely not going to go to the postseason without him. So, unless they make some deal. But as many outlets have reported, no one wants Kyrie. Nobody. Which says something. It says a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So, if that does happen, y'all motherfuckers do not say he got blackballed. He blackballed himself.
He put himself there.
Like, nah, because, like, this, whatever he's talking about now is just the fucking, the cherry on the cake, bro. Like, if this was the beginning of it, then, all right, so be it.
That's what I was about to say. With the anti-vax thing, as crazy as that was, and as kind of like...
Like, this shit started when he was on the Cavs, and he was talking bullshit, and he forced that trade.
Definitely.
That's all the shit
but I more want to stay recent because it's been a lot more public, this meltdown here. Before it was just kind of like you were hearing dribs and drabs, you were in speculation, you were hearing all that, and then famously he did that thing in Boston where he stood in front of them and was like, I'm gonna stay here.
If y'all have me.
You know, if y'all have me. So that's what really kicked that. But I bring up that anti-vax thing because that was summer. So even if he was on that shit then, they could have traded him. That's how crazy the situation has become. They still would make that deal.
He's part of the tornado.
They were able to basically all the other disgruntled stars, more or less, got traded this offseason. Except maybe Dame Lillard, but you know he claims to be about Portland, so we'll see how that goes.
This wouldn't be that bad had Kanye not did what Kanye did.
Yeah, because it's such a parallel. Like it seems to be the same exact arc right now.
And just the timing, bro. It's all about, again, it's about your timing.
And it's weird because at least again with Kanye, to again defend him somewhat, because I'm not going to defend someone who seems to be kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's not irredeemable. Unrestricted in his racism, whatever his point is, whatever the reason, whatever the logic. But at least with him, he is going through divorced dad mode. You know what I'm saying? You arguably, you know, your baby mom.
Kanye was within the true entertainment industry, so whatever he's done, whatever he saw, whatever he's been through within that realm, he legitimately has a right to say the shit he has. Now, again, did he choose to, again, it's the Nori door, because that's the term these days. The Nori door, bro. He chose to walk through that. So whatever he saw, whatever he went through, whatever he had to do.
Yeah, whatever he had to do. Yeah.
Bro, that's on you. So you can't talk about like how like they're like, you know, manipulating and exploiting your people when you're one of them, bro. And you've been one of them. And you've kind of been that kind of beacon for that.
And enabled it and are part of the structure of it.
So again, I get like, yeah, you mad now, but like, you mad now? Now you mad? Now you want to do all this shit?
Well, he's clearly a guy who holds grudges. He was saving it, and it's also mixed with, you know, the hate and resentment he feels toward his ex-wife, who's trying to move on without him, his baby mom trying to move on without him. He's clearly still hurt and misses her, and is in love with her.
Yeah.
He tried to replace her with Julia Fox because she got the same dimensions or whatever. And just to prove, you know, that he's like, all right, well, I don't need her, it's whatever. I'm Kanye.
I mean, look, in his mind, he seems to think that being like wearing a MAGA hat and talking about fucking Black Pride like kind of coincide. I don't.
Well, again, this is where I think part of it is, and you kind of alluded this to earlier, is it's the performance. It becomes more about the performance than your message.
Which is fine. So hard to which is fine. People. Like, which you can do that. You can do that, but at the same time,
then it's lost in the bluster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about the fireworks and not the discussion.
Yeah, exactly. You know, people just fixated on the White Lives Matter hoodie and not what he was trying to say. And even though he's trying to explain himself, it just didn't come out right.
It's not going to,
he's just
because
digging himself deeper and deeper. Basically.
It's not going to because he doesn't want to, bro. And like I'm saying,
because again, it's the fight between, all right, I'm trying to be this. Right, like you said, be Malcolm X, but at the same time, you know, still kind of keep my establishment ties because I'm part of that class now.
That's not going to work.
I'm well aware. You
see it hasn't, bro.
It's a contradiction.
Nah, bro, he was on Drink Champs talking wild shit about what they can't do to him, and they did everything that he said they couldn't do to him.
Immediately dared them.
For real, he was talking mad shit, and I'm like, all right, bro, I see. And then everything he said they wouldn't do or they couldn't do, they did, son.
Which is weird for such a successful businessman, knowing that, you know, especially if you're on this, like, the Jews run shit. Don't you know, people said this to Professor Griff and Nick Cannon, even though Nick Cannon was lucky to keep his job, or jobs, plural. It's like that scene in, what was that? Was that Dark Knight? The Dark Knight, where that dude figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman? Because he saw the expenses and shit, and he just did the math.
Yeah, he tried to come at him.
And
the Joker was like, "Yo, no."
Lucius Fox was like, "So wait, if what you're saying is true about all these things,
you're talking about a fucking lunatic who has millions of dollars,
unlimited resources,
who can do all types of shit to you and make you disappear, and that's the dude you want to come after?
You're trying to come after this person?" And then the dude just picked up his folder and like dipped off.
Then the stupid ass still tried to come after him, and that's when the Joker was like, "Yo, I don't need you exposing him, so whoever can get to this dude and kill him."
Yeah, you're ruining the game.
Then Bruce Wayne had to save his stupid ass. Yeah. Moral of the story is, don't be a stupid ass.
So that's where we're at. It's like, okay, yes, again, like I said, I get your crusade. I feel you. I feel that you want to fight for your people. I feel that you want to be this avatar. Even though it's still seemingly, in the cases of both men, born of ego, born of, well, this is who I am. You know, you're not gonna stop me, and I'm you know, this unstoppable phoenix or whatever. So I don't know.
People are so fucking hungry and so
I mean,
fanatical. No, they're so hungry and fanatical about having somebody to follow who really has a true message and really, but like they don't realize that these motherfuckers aren't your leaders. What are you talking about? Like, no, Kanye is not your leader. Kyrie Irving is not your fucking leader. Stop it, please.
And yet,
and if you think that, then you're fucking delusional, bro. Like, yeah. I get it. We want the black man to be prevalent in this world because he should be.
Especially guys like them who are at the pinnacle of their fields.
But understand this. They're not the ones that are conveying that message. I don't want to say it the right way, but they're not the ones that are going to break shit through. Kanye damn sure ain't, because he's fucked his whole image up to where, like, you can't respect what he's saying. Kyrie Irving, like...
He's another one.
Come on, my nigga.
He's
like,
on his way. Like,
again, if LeBron was doing this, that's one thing, but come on, man. Like, only people that are really on this dude's wagon is Kyrie Irving fans, and, like, again, it is what it is, but... And
now, I guess, anti-Semites, because they know he's one of them.
Again, if that's the wave y'all on, so be it, but just understand that you're going down a real deep, dark pathway that really is unnecessary. Okay, it's unnecessary because that's not gonna break that fucking foundation or that bridge, whatever y'all want. Like, y'all not gonna accomplish what y'all think y'all gonna accomplish, all right? Because clearly, y'all don't understand the tactics or the strategy within this bullshit we call life. You know what I'm saying? This game we call life. Y'all not. I don't know. I guess y'all fucking controllers ain't working. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all seem to not understand. Like, yeah, you can say shit, but you can also say shit without actually having to say shit.
Well, to follow a metaphor, imagine you have been basically allowed to cheat for most of your life. That's gonna skew your perception of how things are done, how things are conveyed, things like that. Especially since, again, both of them are used to people fucking.
Oh no, we're talking about celebrities, so you have to
for every little.
You
thing.
have to talk about lack of self-awareness. Yeah. You have to. I get that. I understand that. But I'm also talking about two dudes who are veterans within their chosen fields. So we could talk about the ego. We could talk
that's
about,
why they feel like they can blow it up. They're on that. I want to just hammer deep into the ground. That simplifies it.
I get that, but even that's a part of like the bigger. That's a part of the bigger problem, man. Lack of self-awareness. Because again, I'm talking about two veterans, not two rookies. Two dudes that have been in the game for a long fucking time now. So you're still saying all this dumb shit, thinking that it's gonna stir shit up, but it's not gonna stir shit up in the way you want. You're not saying things to really make a point. You're saying things to just get clicks. You're saying things to because you think you're stirring shit up, but you're not stirring shit up in regards to like having conversations. You're stirring shit up in a way that you're getting like that go away heat. You're not getting that real hill heat. Yeah. Where like, you know, man, you beating a motherfucker up, they bleeding, throw them through the, you know what I'm saying, right before the pay-per-view, that go home. You're not getting that real heat. You're getting heat where it's like people just don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, people skip your match, you know.
I don't want to hear you speak anymore because you sound stupid.
And you're just, you know, kind of... Again, I feel like, as I said it about other people, I respect people who keep the same energy, I guess. But,
bro, if you see somebody... If you see somebody jump into, like, well, if they jump into a pool that's only 3-4 feet, they're probably going to die, but... Metaphorically, somebody jumps into a 4-foot, like a pool that only has 4 feet of water. Meanwhile, they're, you know, what, 6'2", 6'3". They jump into that pool of 4-foot water, then they claim that they're drowning. When all they have to do is just stand the fuck up.
Yeah, assuming they haven't broken their face. Meanwhile,
you jumped into that shallow ass water.
Yeah, knowingly. And again, to before I guess we wrap this up and talk about more fun things, these types of people expect the pool to be filled for them as they jump. If this is a nice way to close that image and the topic, they do. And I don't want to just boil it down to, you know, yeah, they're used to getting their dick sucked. They're entitled. All of that. It goes so much deeper than that too, you know, because again, like that, how else could you have not only just the ego but the delusion to quote some more people, to be so delusional that that pool's going to be filled for you, even though you're basically yelling at, you know, the people who fill the pool for you and calling them pieces of shit. And I don't like you, and I don't like you because of this or that, but fill that pool for me anyway as I tear you down. You know, so I can make this shooting star into the pool.
That pool is always going to be filled by the fucking enablers who clearly don't have anything going for themselves.
Yeah.
These are the motherfuckers that are still talking about, yeah, yo, AB, you right, King, fucking. When it comes to Kanye, not even Kyrie, when it comes to Kanye, there's a discussion to be had about his overall fucking theme or his overall premise. You know what I'm saying? Just as a black man, that has to be discussed.
I mean, which we kind of have through Crown Fried and the episode before this one. No,
yeah.
Sorry, episode before the last one. Excuse me. It's hard to keep my episodes straight sometimes.
It was a couple episodes ago, but
literally a couple, but not yet. Takes a while, but yeah, we've delved into this discussion is the point, and I don't want to just continually be mystified. I guess I need more information and context and answers. I don't know if he's kind of going to do the usual Kyrie thing, because we know Kanye ain't going to shut up no matter what, but this Kyrie thing of, you know, I'll just be quiet for a while and hope they reinstate me, and, you know, maybe I'll threaten to retire a little bit to, you know, show that I'm still, you know, hard or whatever. But eventually I'll come back, because that's a lot of money to be losing, even though he's super rich. All right, so I guess last thing, do you want to do fantasy, or you just kind of want to like truncate it and just keep it kind of to the serious topic, because we basically just talked about the mans for the whole time.
Fantasy for right now. I guess we can touch upon the real shit on the next episode.
Lovely. Well, as I alluded to 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago, we're back in fantasy again, playing with the same folks we played with last season.
A very very corrupted league, but
you know. But still, I mean,
every league is corrupted
with far less collusion than I've dealt with, honestly. In
as a matter of fact, I guess you could say we're in the mutant leagues.
The mutant basketball league. So that said, I guess we're gonna just kind of delve into our teams a little bit. Maybe talk about our story of heartbreak. At least I will in my selection process. And I guess, you know, what hopes do we have for our seasons, basically. That said, I'm already having a lot of fun, even though I'm disappointed, which I'll get into. But
apple pie.
But yeah, you go first, because honestly, your team's better. even though I had excellent first pick, your team is better than mine. Yeah, which is funny, because in the first week, of course, which is why I think this is the fix is in. We were matched up against each other, and we tied. No one won or lost. We tied. Which is hilarious.
That was gonna happen sooner or later. Actually, no, I tied for these first 2 weeks. Both 6-6, which is weird.
Yep.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? As I signed back into Yahoo Fantasy.
Shout out to them. If y'all want to give us that quick sponsorship one time, or if the algorithm wants to, I guess, bless this video with Yahoo ads, go for it. Hopefully, you know, you pick up on those words and follow suit. You know, shout out to Yahoo Fantasy for creating a very easy to use app that doesn't take up that much space. Thank you guys. We are not sponsored by them, but you know, hit us up. The email's there. Emails down the profile.
Or, you know, any fantasy app, any betting app at this point, being that that's legal in New York now. Well, first of all, this is the first week I've won outright. So, take a little squig for that.
Shout out to you. As I said, I tied with the Bandit in my first week and have lost now 2 in a row. In my second and third.
It was only right. It was only right that we tied that first week, because you know, that was some real Dragon Ball Z shit, son.
It was, though. They put us together in the first round of the tournament.
That's like one of those I wish I had like a specific episode involved, but that's like when kind of like one of those almost like tweener episodes in between, not like it's not in between sagas, but it's like, you know, kind of like the beginning of like one saga / like the end of another saga. And, you know, they may have like a tournament or, you know, where like, you know, two allies got to go 1-on-1, some, you know, some other shit. But that's usually how it goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a tournament, then like it's the finals, then, you know what I'm saying, you got your mans against your mans, then they going back and forth, then all of a sudden some crazy egomaniacal fucking lunatic fucking Frieza-esque fucking villain shows up, then that fight between the two allies has to be paused. Matter of fact, alright, that's alright. I didn't watch too much of the Superman cartoon back in the day.
Talking about the WB one?
Yeah. You know, but it was that, and it was, you know, the Batman shit. Speaking of which, I definitely will watch the Batman joint because it's on HBO Max. You know, back in the day, them shits were a little too story driven for me. Well, not story driven, but like too dark, I guess. I don't know, because like Spider-Man, like on Fox was story driven, X-Men was story driven, but for some reason, like Batman, I couldn't really, I guess, you know, much like Gotham, I couldn't really like hone in too much to it.
It was different with those, I feel, because those X-Men and Spider-Man, that is, had like drama. They hit on the soap opera formula, which was wonderful. I always thought that was good.
The Marvel joints, all right, the Marvel joints were like, I guess they were a little bit more like they had more of that, like that comic book tone. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I love that. I love that there were arcs. I love that. You know, if you watch that Spider-Man series from 94 or 5, if you look at the episode titles, there were really whole arcs. And they would talk about, Revenge of the Spider Slayer is like, you know, part 4 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that.
No, keep it real. Most times than not, you would have like at least two or three episodes for like certain like story, like you said, story arcs.
And then sometimes it'd be like 6 to 8. You know,
yes.
like
the better ones,
like when they did the Clone Saga or whatever. But I actually, quick fun fact, when I went to college, before we get back to our teams here, I took a class with the guy who wrote that show, like large arcs of the show.
Wow.
And I hadn't thought of this in a long time. It was such a good writing class. He was super good. I'm blanking.
I would hope so.
I'm blanking on his name right now, which sucks because he was a really good teacher. In terms of how he viewed writing and structure and how to plot a story to make people compelled by it. And I was like, that makes sense that you wrote Spider-Man now, because you knew that you had to like suck people in. And he always talked about that, just being engaging and how to entertain.
So wait, was he like a real legit like comic fan, or was he just like one of these like WWE writers who?
No,
was he like a creative writer?
He had written comics before. As far as
so he's a comic dude.
He had written comics before, but he had also written
for Marvel or.
I forget. I think for Marvel. But he had written all over. He's one of those, like you said, like he just written all over. But he was a comic fan. He had written for comics before and after, so it made him an ideal candidate to write for the show. Especially since, you know, I don't want to say it was easy, but, you know, a lot of those writers, because he wasn't the only one, were just adapting classic stories to be able to retell to us in a digestible way. Yeah, sure. Which, you know, is just what Marvel does now with their fucking MCU and shit. So, shout out to him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but thank you for being a great teacher. Appreciate it.
So, I'm giving, what are we doing? We giving the whole team, or are we just giving like?
Oh yeah, just fast like we've done in prior episodes. What pick were you?
Oh, I was straight up last.
So that's 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the 8th. I was, for context, guys, I was the 5th pick.
Yeah, he was middle of the road.
I was middle of the road because I ended up in 5th place after my devastating first round playoff exit because most of my team was injured, so I got smoked. So I couldn't qualify for the postseason.
You guys, but you still made it way further than I did.
That's true.
As a matter of fact, now I think I finished dead last.
I'm just more mad that I didn't keep 4th place or at least hit first once. I would have been happy with that, just to at least, because I beat everyone. So I
cool.
was
That's
happy
cool.
about
That's
that.
cool.
Right.
The beginning of this week, I was fifth. Now I'm third, but we'll see how that.
Yeah,
goes.
now that the new results are in, good job. Because you won your matchup and I didn't.
Well,
So,
I beat somebody. Well, I beat somebody that I probably should beat. But my first 2 weeks, the first one against the one of liquidity, and then second week both weeks I drawed or tied up with motherfuckers. But this week, I can say I kind of squeaked it out, but whatever. 7-5 is still good. As we talk on this evening or morning, my starting lineup right now will be Malcolm Brogdon, who is a fan favorite of the one of liquidity. Shea Gildress.
sure is.
Shea Gildress Alexander, SGA as we call him. Desmond Bane, who probably is the best player on Memphis. Can't even say probably, he is.
He is, though. But that's because he still kind of remains, as I've said about him before, a bit of a secret weapon, even though more people know about him now.
Nah, yeah. Like if he was the sixth man last year, he would have beat out old boy that got snuffed. I'm saying like that. P. Jizzle, who's been cooking. I may offer that one to your man Liquid one, but we'll see. Obi Toppin, who I'm not getting rid of.
We'll see. You guys in the comments tell me if I actually have the assets to pull this deal off.
I mean, he doesn't, but Buddy Hield, who's definitely another top favorite of
who I whiffed on.
Yeah, he did.
I'll get to that. I'll get to all the players I whiffed on.
I mean, we were both distracted, but I always got my eye on the prize. Evan Mobley, who seems to be hitting his stride right now.
Shout out to Cleveland, scary good team. Who would have thought?
So forth. I got Drummond, who seems to be injured right now. Some bullshit. I'm gonna have to switch him out. Yeah, definitely gonna switch him out. Anthony Simons.
Where you want Hartenstein? You want that Hartenstein?
No.
What a sentence! You want that Hartenstein? That sounds so like disgusting
That's what I'm
somehow.
saying.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
want that
even sound
You want that
right.
Hartenstein?
That shit, I'm saying, like, that's how they don't even sound right.
Yo.
Who else? I got Jay Poeto.
Jakob. Shout out to him.
I mean, he's another one that I'll have to think about getting rid of because he gives me numbers. Brother Nick Claxton, who
one of the few sane Nets still left on the team.
Well, even him, he wasn't even part of that. Like he got drafted like I think that same year they got rid of like most of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm just more surprised he's still on the team because he's an asset and possibly.
Well, no, they couldn't because they needed the big man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's possibly their best defender.
And they
right now,
he is. And like they need a big man.
Is what him and Royce O'Neal basically probably their best defenders. Pretty much.
Yeah, keep 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess old this fucking guy, the Australian, Patty Mills.
Oh yeah, old Patty. Yep.
But no, I'll say this much. I think for at least 3 games this early season, Nick Claxton has given me like 4 blocks. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the MVP of my team right now, DeJounte Murray.
Excellent pickup.
Yes, that was one. All right, well, okay. Now you talk about context. I have to give him context. After I take this shot.
Cheers. Nostrovia.
Salud. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. The draft was handled on a Friday night.
Sucked for me.
Yeah, it did. I happened to be off that evening, and I happened to have have invited a female friend. You know what I'm saying? The way I set shit up, or the way I thought I set shit up. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to be able to maneuver as the draft was happening. And keep 100, I probably could have, but, you know, I was trying to make sure things were fresh and things were washed, so I missed the first, 4 rounds? But, yo, alright. The first 2 times we did this, the first time I did it, and the first time the one of Liquidity did it with this group, I had the first pick overall. Nor did I sell my soul for it. It just so happened. But simultaneously, I believe I finished last in both of those instances. Now I'm third in the league, so you explain to me how that shit works. I don't know. Whatever. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't know who the fourth pick was, but I know, like, through auto draft as I was in the shower.
Pretty sure it was Ja.
No, I don't
Pretty
have
sure.
I don't have Ja.
Well, you said the 4th pick.
No, I'm talking about
you
for
didn't
me.
mean 4th overall. Oh, okay.
Me,
I thought you meant 4th overall. Sorry.
My 4th pick.
Sorry.
The first pick was James Harden. I hope it was James Harden.
It was.
It had to be.
It was because to give you a quick teaser on my story, he was one of the first players I saw picked that was like, 1, on my list, but 2, like, that was a surprise because the first 3 picks aren't a surprise, which, we'll get to.
Yeah, but I had the 8th pick. Well, shit, James Harden at the 8th pick isn't bad.
It's incredible, actually.
All right. My first 2 picks, auto draft, and again, this is a snake draft, aka Serpentine. So I had the back-to-back. And if you heard me on, what was that, Blow It Up at the End of the World?
Yes, because that's when we started talking about potentially rejoining and doing this here report. See, we follow through sometimes.
Well, we have to. That's what we had already signed up, but we were just waiting for the draft.
Yeah, we're waiting for it to begin.
So yeah, Serpentine. That means last pick is the first pick in the second round. First and foremost, I'm always for that because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am the king of the double up.
All those years of 2K drafts, man.
No. Well, for you, that. It really started with Madden, son. You know what I'm saying? Me building my Madden teams and, trying to maneuver different shit. And it's funny because with football, you really have to really be more in tune with that shit, especially because of the contracts. Because, again, Madden is like, that's the first game where you had franchise mode. You can have like season mode or you want to, but franchise mode is when you had to worry about fucking... All right, for instance, I won't say I'm a big Dolphins fan, but when I was in high school, that's when they had one of the best defenses ever. You know what I'm saying? Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, fucking Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison, who won the championship with the Giants in 2007. All types of Duke. Ricky before he gave. Well, before he got high, or no, he was getting high then, but whatever. They fronted on this man getting high in Miami, son. Like, come on. Like fam,
of all places.
Fam, like, come on, boy. Like, really? And, like, a lot of people don't know this, but Ricky is from Cali, bro. He's from San Diego, son. Or the San Diego, that area, son. That mid, weird fucking Cali area, son. So, he's from somewhere where, weed is acceptable. He gets drafted to New Orleans where murder is acceptable. Then you go to Miami, son.
They had it out for you, man.
But again, that's a totally different cast, and we probably can and will do that. during the 2000s, like there was a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like in between that Paul Tagliabue, who in regards to the draft, he had the illest draft you know what I'm saying, the draft voice or the draft cadence. He was the first one, you know, with the first draft in the 98 NFL draft. The Indianapolis Colts select Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying?
He was that.
You know, he before the draft became like, he was the one that kind of made the draft like real main event-esque, but in that real Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer, like
big fight.
You know what I'm saying?
Voice,
like,
you know,
his voice and the way he, like, you know, with the and he almost came off like he didn't give a fuck, but like yeah. With the first fucking pick, these niggas, the Browns, they choose somebody else that won't fucking work. Actually, I'm guessing that's probably why he sounded the way he did, because, yeah, the first pick ain't shit, so, here I am.
Here I am to get you excited about the next one.
You know what I'm saying? But either way, son. Either way. All that shit ties into what we're talking about now and these current affairs in regards to the bullshit. The bullshit, the propaganda, the once again, the Colin Kaepernicks of the world, man.
I'm almost tempted to call that episode this.
No.
I'm not going to. I'm just tempted to.
Because, you know, the algorithm.
Yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. Although, hey, when we put Connor in the title, that's our most viewed video, so.
But that's also, that was the algorithm and the timing.
Definitely. Definitely. But he's also just a hot button. Like, you want to talk about a guy whose fans rally to him, man, no matter how dumb and wrong he is.
Which is cool, but yeah, we're not here for that, man.
Definitely not. So, the tragedies, even though, again, your team, it worked out pretty well, I would say.
Well, I went through my team. You didn't go through yours.
Oh, it's my turn now? Okay. I'm sorry. I thought there was something I missed.
No, I went through my team. I mean, like I said, at this point, I'm probably going to have to start Wiseman more than anybody else because, all right, my team is definitely more high level, but at the same time, 1 or 2 injuries. Actually, no. My team is good enough to where 1 or 2 injuries shouldn't affect.
You could weather it because
much.
the wire will fill the gaps.
But shit, I felt like that with my team.
Also, you got dudes who want to make deals with you, so you at least have that to rest on. I know you're not going to anytime soon, but it's just, you know, it's nice to have that in your pocket.
Oh, listen, bro, I have a business.
You know, the potential swindle.
I have a business degree, brother, so, all right, we can get into that, too.
Tell them what the deal on the table is.
What was that, 2 Fridays ago? I don't know what day it is. It doesn't matter, man. At this point, we
it's all one long day at this point.
At this point, we all drug dealers. But yeah, there was an offer for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. At this point, I don't feel like I'm going to make any moves with him. But, you know, there was an earlier trade request. Him for 2 players of my choice. I'm saying.
The blank check.
But at the same time, and within, you know, certain realms and certain, not trying to swindle people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're making a trade, you know what, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? If I'm trading somebody that will benefit you, then I want to trade for somebody that's going to benefit me, and we all winning. I'm not trying
obviously.
That's what a trade is.
You want that Hartenstein now?
Well, I mean, as much of a Knicks fan as I am.
Nah, you already got Obi. You don't really need Isaiah.
No.
So, to get to my team so we can land this thing, to give you a bit of context, once again, if you guys remember I don't remember what that episode is called when we talked about our draft last year, but go watch it. I will try to make sure to link those in the end card. So I guess that's Crown Fried Peach Cobbler in another video. But
I think that was a little bit after that. I mean, because that was pretty much.
I mean, it's a year, so wouldn't not be before?
Nah, because that was like towards the end of I think that was after the season, and we just had like.
We just happened to talk about it.
Yeah, we just happened to give them like our rosters and
what we went through and stuff.
Yeah,
all right, cool. So similar to last year. Last year I was at work for the draft. It was a little easier last time because I was posted up in a place where I was able to both be on my post and draft on my phone.
Monitor shit.
And have strong enough internet to make sure that my moves go through and monitor it and all that.
And oddly enough, from like just the face value, the team last year was
good money.
It was better,
especially for
on paper.
I agree with you. Especially for a guy who before last year I hadn't played fantasy in like 19 years or some shit. Reggie Miller was last playing. Like Yahoo Fantasy looked completely different. You know, apps weren't even a fucking thing. Okay, like
you was doing all the shit on paper.
On analysis and internet and forums, diving through forums to see who knew what about who, because it's not like now where the app has like, you know, all this analysis they feed to you, which shout out to Yahoo Fantasy for that.
Nah, but you know what? It's the same
especially
shit.
Your waiver wire guides. Thank you for that.
It's the same shit because you know why? Like, all right, for instance, earlier today, like I placed a few wagers on not necessarily football games, but stats, touchdowns, shit like that.
Right.
I ended up like really cashing out on like one of those parlays that they put together. It was for the Seahawks. Some combination of I believe it was like the Seahawks scoring like over 23 points, like 23.5. You know how they do. I think it was Geno Smith getting like 200 passing yards, and Kenneth Walker III getting like over 80 yards and I believe a touchdown. That one hit. But what I saw was with me, I'm quite sure a lot of people do this shit too, but had I really done what I was supposed to do and like went into my my fantasy leagues and like saw like certain stats and like how certain shit went, probably could have made way more money earlier, but I just woke up and just went right into the FanDuel and fucking DraftKings. But it is what it is, but still got a little bit.
Still good. So yeah, last year the team was a little better. I was able to draft a little more actively, even though again, as I've referenced, my best player Joel Embiid was an auto pick. I didn't pick him. So was Damian Lillard. Like the first couple of rounds, I still was not around for. Even though I had to raid my players in a way that my first few picks was good, I was not disappointed. They were all people I was into, and played well for me for the most part. With the exception of Lonzo, but again, that was injury. That wasn't his fault. Did
you draft him?
Yeah, I drafted Lonzo.
All right, that wasn't a bad.
I knew it because I knew his usage rate was going to be high. I knew that him and Zach LaVine are a great combination. And like many of my players that I drafted, not only last year and this year, as long as he stays on the court, he's a plus-minus nightmare. He's also a guard who rebounds. He plays defense, and he's smart.
He's also somebody you need. And
he's someone I need. But also he's playing alongside a guy who alleviates the pressure on him to score and makes it happen, which is perfect.
So again, I'm always about the retrospective. Your first two picks last year compared to your first two picks this year.
Oh fuck! I feel like context-wise, my first two picks this year are
it's always on paper.
Are better, in that.
And they were
Steph Curry. My pick was the fifth pick overall, and he was still on the board, and I was shocked, highly shocked. I get it, given the four that went ahead of him, which was Luka Magic, Giannis, and
Ja.
And there's another person, right? Because it's five.
No, you said Joker.
Yeah,
Luka.
Jokic is number one.
Yeah, Joker, Luka, and
Giannis,
and Ja.
and
Yeah.
Ja. Top 4.
Yeah.
Not a bad 4.
Honestly, yeah, because if I was in that top 4, I probably would have taken one of them.
Definitely, me too. I was already
Probably.
I don't know if I recorded this, but I was already at least saying in public that I was, if I got in the first pick. I also advised certain other people in their leagues. I was like, if you still have John on the board, take him. Unless you have the first pick, then don't take him the first pick. But if you have a high pick, take him.
Well, again, and blowing it up, you said that you would take Steph first overall.
I did say that, and I meant that.
Stephen, I forgot. You might have said Stephen Ja, but you definitely said you.
I definitely mentioned Ja because I'm high on him.
But you definitely said you would take Steph overall if you could,
I did. I also advised other people to do that if he was available in their leagues, because those first 3 that I mentioned, those first 4, with the exception of Ja, because he's not obvious. Because when I said that to certain people, they're like, Ja, they seem shocked. Like, what do you mean? Like,
they're clearly not basketball minds.
Well, these are the types of people that might say, take Kyrie at number 4. So there you go.
They clearly aren't basketball minds.
Exactly. So compared to this year, I like my first 2 picks this year better because I really thought them out. I picked them myself.
Your first 2 picks last year were?
Joel Embiid and Damian Lillard. And those are auto picks. I didn't pick them myself.
Now, again, on paper...
I picked them, with the auto draft, but I didn't pick them actively.
No, yeah, I know that. But on paper, theoretically, that probably should be the better... because, again, if you go double guard,
My thought was... the reason why I went double guard was because of who was available at the time.
And again, I get that.
When I went again for my second pick. But also... I was gonna honestly do the rerun of Joel if he was available in one of my first 3 picks.
Yeah,
because I knew he wouldn't be. So I was like, if he's similar to Steph, if he would have been left on the board like Steph, I would have went with him first instead for sure. Even though the Sixers are kind of wibbly right now, but that's the type of team.
They are.
That's the type of team they are. So that didn't surprise me, and he's still gonna get numbers. His usage rate will still be high. He will still play well, barring serious injury. Hopefully, he doesn't get hurt. So
I'll say this, no James Harden, regardless, they still lost to the Knicks, and I'm a Knicks fan.
They did. So there it is. My second pick was Jaylen Brown, who really showed me something.
Who probably would have been my first pick had I not been in the shower.
Yeah.
So I won't say I slept on
in a way I snaked you first.
And again, I get that is I guess that's the theme of this one.
Yeah, we just kind of snaked.
Now
each other
you got me for 1. I got you for 3.
You got me for 3 or 4 that I wanted. Not he would be nice. That I wanted.
No, one of them. Well, no, I think 2 of them I got that you had last year.
Yeah, Bane and
Shea
SGA, who I picked high because I knew he was gonna be good. I knew it.
Yes.
I didn't need Yahoo to tell me that he was gonna be a good player. I know he's a good player.
Matter of fact, I think because again, all right, the first 4 picks I had, I didn't draft. All right, 8th pick and all. I believe the first pick was the beard. I hope that was the beard.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Had to be.
Pretty sure it was.
Because again, if I had the first pick, I'm not taking Trae Young, but that happened to be my second pick, so I wasn't mad about that. I believe the 3rd pick was PG-13, Paul George. And again, for the life of me, I still cannot fucking remember who that 4th pick was, son.
I can't either. I could go into the draft order right now, but it'll take too much reading.
Because again, I specifically my first pick when I came back. That first pick was Desmond. It was Desmond.
There you go.
Yeah, I went all guards. I did. Yeah, because I got Desmond. I got DeJounte. I got Shea. And then I started going big man after that because I was like, oh shit, I ain't got no big man. But
I went the same. So I'm gonna go down my line and explain my process. This isn't an order. This is just the order that I had them started in as of today because the lineups have reset.
As rush hour was going on.
Indeed. So to give you further context, this year I was, as I alluded to, I was not able to actively pick as well as I was last year because I was at work in a busier place. and I had to be more on guard, no pun intended, about things that were going on while the draft was happening, which led to bungled picks like me picking Christian Wood at 4th as my 4th or 5th pick, which that shit haunts me. Not that Christian was a bad player, he was actually someone who was on my radar, but because of the way I had my auto draft set, he was too high. He was way too high, and the auto draft picked him for me, and that was a real fucking shame. Because there were a lot more available players who would be doing more for me right now, as opposed to Mr. Wood. But shout out to him anyway. He seems to have found a very good role as Dallas' sixth man, something they very much needed, especially rebounds-wise. I hope he kind of, not just obviously because he's on my team, but I hope he finds his way in terms of getting other stats and feeling comfortable and, kind of figuring it out, because Dallas needs him to be good to go far. You need someone else besides Luka and I guess THJ and God, who else is on this team? Why am I blanking on Spencer Dinwiddie and company? So yeah, that Christian Wood pick kind of took the air out of that, because at the time, and this is just me remembering blind because I'm not going to go into the draft order into the app. But at the time, I remember players like DeMar DeRozan being available, Desmond Bane being available, a guy who got me all types of crazy stats last year for the Grizzlies. Who else was free? There's so many players. Keldon Johnson was free. DeJounte Murray was briefly free before the light-skinned one scooped him up. There was a lot of talent, which, as a quick aside, I love that about the league, that we are kind of entering once again a talent renaissance of sorts, in that there's just so much talent from top to bottom in a lot of these teams, and I am excited about what will pan out for them, like your Pacers and even your Sacramento Kings of the world and stuff like that. So all that said, I picked kind of weirdly. My first pick, as I mentioned, was Steph Curry. My second pick was Jaylen Brown, who I was, again, surprised that he was still available. Again, I get it was the second round, and as you listeners may or may not know from playing fantasy of any kind, first round is usually for kind of like home runs. Like, you're just kind of building your team around who your first 2 or 3 picks going to be. And I figured Steph was just a great, centerpiece. And I just built outward from there. Now that I have my backcourt set, I went similar to the light-skinned one. I went for big men. So I picked Vucevic. A little too high in hindsight, but I love me some Nikola Vucevic. Big fan. Mentioned him many times as the solution to many teams' problems. I think he's going to have a better year in Chicago, provided that Zach LaVine can stay on the court. Because Lonzo Ball is probably not coming back this season, or if he does, I don't know how he's going to be impactful or effective. They may end up trading him, which is really unfortunate, because he was a boon, a real godsend to the team. Again, in no particular order, I'm just going down my roster. I didn't draft them this way. So I mentioned Jalen and Steph Curry. I drafted Ayo Dosunmu, who is a very promising young guard for the Chicago Bulls. Currently, their starting guard, because Lonzo is not free to start and won't be for a while. And Ayo has proven to be a very good all-around guard. Great tempo, scores well, very good defensively, gets you other stats, seems to not be afraid of, the moment, really, or playing on the Bulls, and the responsibilities that he now has, which are going to get larger as time goes on as a main playmaker of the team. So I went with him because he was also on my team last year. At the end, he was one of those guys really bolstering me as far as guards, because Damian Lillard got injured. I lost a lot of my guard talent at the end of the year last year, so he filled in the gap quite nicely. Next is Karis LeVert, who I got recently, favorite player of mine, as I've mentioned earlier in other episodes, and shit in this very episode. Nets who were foolish to let that man go. I picked him recently because he, I guess as of yesterday, is kind of picked or handpicked to be Cleveland's primary ball handler. This will get him a lot of assists. He can score, he can shoot, he can do a little bit of everything, and as long as he stays on the court, he will be effective for me. Next is Lonnie Walker IV, who I will not keep, more than likely because he was just a streaming option in my most recent matchup. I may or may not have lost my most recent matchup because of him, because Jalen McDaniels and other better players, like some Toronto players, like I believe Chris Boucher were available instead, and I went with Lonnie because I figured having a Laker would be a better idea, which was foolish.
It's a very old school way of thinking.
Yeah, and it would have been an okay pick, except that he got hurt in the game, which you can't predict. You can't predict that, and it is what it is. So he did decently for me. Akin or based on the light skinned bandit's advice, I may keep him anyway because he's going to see a lot of usage in the coming weeks because there's no depth on the team. They have Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, and Westbrook behind him. So
there's definitely too many guards, but
none of those guards are really going to see time like that. So
he's somebody I would keep around because he may end up getting traded.
Yeah, he also plays tomorrow, so. Like I said, he just get me numbers.
I mean, but we're starting a new week. Well,
exactly.
Actually, it's not tomorrow. It's today now.
It's today now. So Lonnie, I already mentioned Jaylen Brown. Bogdanovic, who was the older Bogdanovic, which is Bojan. He was a consistent scorer for me last year on Utah, especially since that team was riddled with injury.
Which is weird because he would be perfect on that team that they have now.
Yeah, he would, honestly. But he would be just the new Ingles, right? Joe Ingles. But he's been playing very well in Detroit, mostly because he is a reliable scorer. Probably the best shooter on the team so far. He won't remain that. But because of his specialty as a white boy gunner, he is very effective on that team of like a lot of athletes and guys who are constantly slashing and have decent playmakers. In Sadiq Bey and Cade Cunningham.
Definitely that veteran presence.
Exactly, that they need, frankly, because seeing the old man fill it up is only going to, I feel, inspire the young boys to do the same. As you were mentioning earlier, his hot streak is probably not going to last. He is someone who, tends to get injured. He is older, and he's just in that age range. He's just in that part of his career. But he's still effective for me thus far, coming into the season. So I'm going to ride. But he may also be a potential trade piece, either to the Bandit or someone else who needs three-pointers, who I can swindle. I probably shouldn't say that because if one of these other motherfuckers hears me, they're going to hear a whole strategy. But it's fine. I love him. He's still getting busy for me. Also, he plays all forward positions. He's very utility, like a great utility player.
You keep him at least until the deadline.
Yeah, to see what happens with him. But they paid him though. They signed him. So,
well, first of all, you aren't the one that paid him.
I'm aware. I'm just saying they paid him.
I get that. I'm saying his contract has nothing to do with your fantasy team. So,
indeed. Indeed. Next player is Devin Vassell. I keep saying Vassell. It's Vassell. I believe. I've heard other smarter basketball nerds say Vassell, so I'm going with Vassell. I picked him up kind of as a advanced, he was another guy I knew that would have a high usage rate because San Antonio, semi blew it up by getting rid of DeJounte Murray, who was their best player. And they're just going to go through Keldon Johnson and Vassell, and Vassell is a bucket. He just gets buckets, man. He's another reason why I am not, I'm okay with letting guys like Aaron Gordon go and Bogdanovic potentially later down the line because he seems like this young boy is going to be a lot more consistent. He'll get a lot more playing time, assuming he doesn't keep getting hurt because of his now more extended workload alongside Keldon. That backcourt, similar to DeJounte and Trae Young, who the light-skinned Bandit have, they're going to cook. He was another guy I could have gotten Keldon Johnson as opposed to Christian Wood. I thought about him heavily. He was on my auto draft list, but someone scooped him before I could.
No, you're good with Christian Wood just because of the team he's on now.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I mentioned that a little while ago. And again, that was the impetus for picking him because I knew he would get busy. I knew that coming out of the Rockets, he was kind of a piece that fills some problems for them. Not all problems, but some problems. Whatever gets the ball out of Luka's hand so much, is only a boon to the team. Even though he's kind of a turnover machine a little bit, but it's fine. He's a big man. That's to be expected.
That's because he hasn't really played with like legitimate point guards.
Yeah, especially one who has the potential to be one of the greatest of all time. So there you go. But I think he will get better. Again, he has played okay for me. It's not like he's total garbage. It's just that the players, the level of player that was available when I drafted him, it hurt. Like, I could have way better players right now, and I don't. And again, not the worst pick, but not the best pick either. Again, at this time in the draft, I was just running around the place, trying to take care of everyone and do the things that I had to do. So I was missing rounds, and some of my picks become really automatic at this point, including my next pick, who was Nikola Vucevic. Oh no, I mentioned him already, right? Yeah, I mentioned him earlier as a high pick. My next pick after that, I believe, was Anthony Edwards, who was still available. Surprisingly, I picked him high for me, but I was surprised that he went as low as he did in the draft overall.
Not surprising at all.
I know you will, and you can give them your analysis about this. But I figured, again, my logic behind a lot of the picks I made.
Again, that's compared, like, in regards to, like, the team he's on.
Yeah, and what talent was also available on the board when he was. And
he would legitimately be the third dude I would pick out of that group.
Exactly, and again, not to shit on my own pick or whatever, because I confidently still picked him because I knew that he would get busy. He has been getting busy, similar to Bogdanovic, because his team is kind of stagnant in terms of offense.
Yeah.
And he's the most fluid in terms of getting busy on that team, clearly, head and shoulders.
That's a very, very loose interpretation of fluid, but
the other guys seem hella stiff and trying to figure out what their things are going to be. Having Cat at the 4 is a great idea on paper, but they seem very kind of. And again, it's the beginning of the season.
It's too late for that because Cat has been, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's the wrong team.
Yeah. But they think that's what the answer is. And, defensively, they look great. But,
Yeah, well, because they have a fucking 3-time fucking
the best defender in the league on the team.
I get that, but, like, the rest of the team, like, again, like this dude, like, Rudy Gobert being there doesn't help them because...
Especially given what they gave up to get him.
They're still a young team, but like even beyond that, they're not even like it's not about them being young. They're just a young team that's stupid.
They're a good team. They have talent.
No, talent is cool. They're not a team though. They're not a team, nor are they like a mature.
Also, similar to
the basketball IQ is not there.
And to your point, similar to Sarver and other front offices we complain about and ownership we complain about, that ownership doesn't seem particularly invested in building a winning franchise, and it hasn't been in the last 20 years or so. Despite having good teams, Kevin Love, stuff like that, certain players, they just can't seem. They're cursed. They seem to be cursed in some way.
Not even seem to be like historically, like their best team was that 04 team. That 2K team, whatever, you know what I'm saying, like. A team that you knew that wasn't going to win the championship, but you know what I'm saying. Now again, if we going into that type of lore, I was definitely not necessarily a Kings fan, but definitely a Kings advocate. They should never beat the Kings that year, man. Even though they were the number 1 seed in the fucking probably the whole league that year. KG, who was one of the most influential players I've ever met. Not even met, but he's one.
Heralded.
He's one of the dudes that, you know what I'm saying, I definitely watched, like, hard body in regards to just how to really play the game, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the antagonistic shit and the Honey Nut Cheerios and all of that. He could have that. I didn't get that from him. I just got like, you know what I'm saying, like just me being a skinnier dude, being trained to play in the post, seeing him, my fadeaway came from him, son. You know what I'm saying? It didn't, like my fade didn't come from Jordan, it came from KG, son, which is weird because he was a 7-footer, but whatever. But
you got those though. But
no, my fade, because his shit was so smooth at 7 feet, son. And like again, like playing, again, like not even 2K back in the day, it was live. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So yeah, to finish up on Anthony, he's been playing well for me. He's probably their best player right now, honestly.
No, he is, but you know what I'm saying, he has to grow.
Yeah, which I look forward to that. I like his game.
Again, like he's a volume shooter right now, but if he learns how to just If he just learns how to get to the line,
Yeah,
then he's dangerous.
That'll improve things.
Then he's dangerous.
He has that added dimension.
Because he's an athlete. He's, you know what I'm saying, he knows how to finish. Clearly, he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, just play some defense and get to the line. Then you're an all-star.
Yep. He may even be an all-star just averaging these numbers he's averaging, based on how the league rewards that. Next player is Drew Holiday, perennial favorite. Was on the team last year. Definitely held it down for me pretty much since I got him. I knew he would be good. He is balling right now, seemingly with this interesting triangle of him, Brook Lopez, and Giannis, and the others.
That's the real triangle right there.
Yeah.
That is like, because...
Well, that's what I expected it to be when they got Brook. You know, even though they couldn't keep the Lopez boys, like...
keep him 100, keep him 100. Mm-hmm. Look, realistically, and... because he's a low ego guy, he probably will be all right with this. I'm making Chris Middleton my sixth man.
It's not a bad idea, man.
Because again, like,
when he cooks,
and he's
kind of unstoppable.
His game is that of a sixth man because, like, he's their finisher, cool, but
he's another guy I could have got, but he was injured. So
only reason I wouldn't do that.
I felt wary.
They need somebody, like, if you're gonna make him your sixth man, like your two guard or whatever, you have to make him at least like ill gunner or some ill defensive type dude. Which is why, like, them letting DiVincenzo go.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? I get it, but all right, cause look, your man, old boy, old big lips, Pat Bev. Oh. Pat Bev on the Bucks would be nice right now.
Oh my goodness, perfect. Because they're a team of dogs, like so.
Nah, because look, they had your boy PJ Tucker. They need somebody, and I fuck with Grayson Allen, but he's not gonna give you that grit and grind. Like, he will, but not in the same way.
He's unique.
Not defensively. Yeah. He'll give you, like, it's just that, that white boy grit and grind.
That said, Pat Bev is on the waiver wire. He's not on no teams right now, but good player though. So after Drew, Benedict Mathurin, who is my lone pacer that I contractually am obligated to draft. I didn't draft him, obviously. I picked him up after it was realized that boy can score. He is putting up Rookie of the Year numbers right now. And I'm glad that he's a pacer. And I'm glad that I have him. And I'm glad that he was on the waiver wire. And people hate the Pacers enough to just not pick them up. So he's balling for me right now, which is great at forward, because now I have forwards who can score, which is what I needed to complement Andrew Wiggins, just to jump ahead a little bit, who I picked somewhere in the middle of the draft. He was available. Clearly people didn't believe in him, which is interesting, given the performance he just had in the postseason. But their loss is my game, right? So
I saw him, I may have scooped him, but
yeah. After Benedict Mathurin is Devin Booker, who I picked on my third pick, who was again astonishingly still available on the board. So I had to. I was like, word, I had to. He was the best. He was the number one ranked player too, and all that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Again, having that middle pick really served very well for me, because again, there were players on the board that were available that I was surprised that were still available, that I know people wanted and that were projected high to be fantasy contributors, and he was there. I'm looking at him on my screen right now. Like, he's a 5-star player. He's cooking. He's averaging, I don't know, almost 30 a game. I don't know if that's necessarily translating into wins for Phoenix, but he's balling, and they're going to need him to do, because now Cam Johnson's out for a while. So
as far as I know, they're still like the fifth seed.
Yeah, they're playing well enough. Again, they're too veteran a team to kind of get smoked. But they're kind of in flux right now, you could tell. But D-Book's playing. D-Book is there to win, and I appreciate that. And that's it. Like I said, my last player is Wiggins. My guys Steph Curry and Wiggins are at the bottom because the Warriors rested them. They played 2 back-to-backs this week, so the rest was coming eventually, which may or may not have lost me my matchup this week, ultimately. But it's fine. It was competitive, and I appreciate my team. There's just, like I said, some hiccups there. That the auto draft didn't allow me to remedy, because again, I was missing rounds and stuff like that. So
wait, in other words, Your season is heavily relied upon the light skin magic.
Yes, actually, tremendously.
Yeah, no, your top two dudes.
Are the two best light skinned players in the league?
Two of the top. You know
Two
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
top.
I may have to do my top light skin, my top 5 light skinnedness.
Light skin magic.
But you know what I'm saying, right now, you currently have, well, no, you have 2 defending champions and 1 defending finals MVP. And again, boy, it's early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not terrified or anything.
Now,
just,
look.
I could have done better. That's all. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, we can always do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, at the same time, that's why I'm not mad that I have Wiseman. Because, again, if he stays on the court, he's going to be a crucial piece to that team. So.
Yeah, he's going to play. Him and, why am I blanking on something right now? Kevon Looney. Him and Kevon Looney.
Oh, yeah, no. Kevon, you know what I'm saying?
And to a lesser extent, Kuminga. Like, they have these guys who they are developing.
Kuminga's like he's still trying to figure out his well, him and is that Moody?
Moody, yeah.
Yeah, Moody, yeah. Well, Moody, he's figuring his role out in that, but Kuminga is still, you know, whatever. But either way, you know, he definitely still got a lot of like great postseason playoff fucking experience. So with these injuries that are happening, and it's funny and still weird, but at the same time it makes sense because like them resting dudes and these injuries always seem to work out for these niggas, man. Well, I don't say always, but
often. But again, they're doing what you're supposed to do, develop your guys, you know, kind of stick with them through thick and thin and see what they turn
because, you know what I'm saying, we're going to need you in that game 5.
Mm-hmm. They need you confident and feeling like you're a part of this team.
Yeah.
You know?
And you already know what you're supposed to do before. Like, again, like, we always talked about it because, you know what I'm saying, like, those teams that go, you know, whatever, 7, 8 deep, you know, I get it. But at the same time, as a fucking professional NBA team, you got to go at least 10 deep, son. 10 deep because, again, you can compress and kind of like corral that a little bit based upon your matchup, the series, whatever. I get that. That's cool. We could do that. But throughout the regular season, you have to go 10 deep because you have to get dudes ready.
Yeah.
You have to, they have to get game ready. You know what I'm saying? Big game ready.
And yeah, pressure ready.
So that way, it's like, all right, you could play chess. All right, boom. This series, all right, I got to go a little bit smaller. All right, cool. Next series, I got to go a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? Next series, shit, I got to combine all that shit. But it's cool because I've been doing that the whole season.
Yeah, I have my tricks and my lineups. And
you know what I'm saying? Like
that.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, we could do this. We could do that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a fist fight? You want to have a shootout? We could do that, baby.
Yep. And that's, I guess, kind of the way to close this and close what the season will be. It's going to be a shootout. I feel like I won't be able to sneak up on these guys anymore because of what I did last year. So I got to be a little more careful with my moves in matchups. Again, I feel like I just narrowly lost this matchup this week. But again, you know, he's the champ. So, you know, he clearly knows what he's doing as well. And, you know, on to the next matchup, which I hope to win. And at least be in third. I'm in fourth now, so that's something, I guess. But still.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, you were ahead of me now. I'm saying.
Well, it's going to fluctuate. That's how
I'm saying, no, I'm slowly throwing them
this
into
is your redemption, man. This is your now you're gonna sneak up on them this time, not me.
Oh no, I can't sneak up on them because they know what it is, son.
They have you scouted. You know?
You can't sneak up on them when you're light skinned, bro. Yeah, it's just,
they're afraid of you.
Nah, it's just about that time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know, the Cobra Clutch is becoming $1 million dream.
Exactly. Just waiting to strangle the life out of the league.
Shit, that may have to be a fucking title for this one, son.
Cobra Clutch at the end of the world?
No, $1 million dream.
$1 million dream. That's better. That's more smooth. So that said, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. For now, anyway, we'll keep you well abreast of what's going on with our teams and the situations and our matchups and our deals. Just to add that extra wrinkle to our basketball analysis and enjoyment of the game. Just
wrinkles in regards to whatever, you know what I'm saying? We
Especially since it's a weird-ass season. My God.
For everything, bro.
Weird seasons.
For football, basketball, baseball is whatever. Baseball is over now, and fuck that. I may talk a little hockey, even though I'm not at the old job I used to be. But we'll see.
We'll see. You're still our correspondent. You still gotta get that.
Listen,
still gotta fulfill your contract.
Oh no. That contract is null and void. But we got a couple of good fights coming up, especially this Saturday. UFC is returning to the Garden, so that does deserve some sort of analyst. So.
Yeah, the November cards always do. We'll see how it goes, pretty much. Especially since 280 was good, but it wasn't like, I guess, the fireworks people were expecting.
No, it was good. It's just one of those it was just too early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, it was good. Like in regards to the main card, I have no complaints. You know what I'm saying? You had enough excitement. You had enough science. In regards to fighting.
Yeah, you had a bit of everything.
The one all right, this card we're talking about that's coming up. This may be another one of those knockout cards.
There's a lot of finishes on it.
I doubt it because look, the main one that should be a knockout card probably will go the distance, and that's Michael Chandler against Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, the grudge match, man.
That's not even a grudge match.
Well, that's what they're trying to bill it as.
That's a grudge match because of what Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if that fight is on the same level or better, cool. I don't see it being better, but it could be on the same level.
Yeah, they kind of nullify each other. But again, we'll see if they're willing to slug it out or if they're gonna, do their kind of all around, try to rest you, fuck you game and win by points.
I don't see neither one of them doing that.
Nah, I think they're gonna slug it out.
I don't. Especially Dustin, because he can't afford that.
He can't. I think he's gonna slug it out. Especially since Mike caught old boy a couple fights ago. So I think he's gonna try to lean on his hands more to prove that he's more than just a wrestler. That he's a complete MMA fighter. I look forward to the fight regardless. Though we'll see. It will be covered because there's fights to cover. There's implications somewhat there, especially if Zhang wins. Weili Zhang wins the title again, or Zhang Weili. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to that one the most, especially after seeing her pick up Francis Ngannou like it was nothing. That man's almost 300 pounds.
Yes,
it was crazy. So yeah, stay tuned for that as well. I guess on the next time, guys, gals, non-binary pals, of course. The Schmiz Mars. This has been the Triple P, Perfect Plex Podcast. Let them know where they can find you, as usual.
They know what it is. Bandit _light7 on the gram. We always posting shit in regards to the cast and the cast-offs.
Excellent. As for me, find me on Twitter, the Cancerverse. Under Shining Brizard, Shining_Brizard. Send your love, hate, cat memes, the usual. Not really super active on there these days, but it's a source for my news and shit, so gotta be on there because Twitter knows everything.
Only for the important shit.
Only for the important shit. So thanks for coming once again. We'll see you as this season of the Snake rolls on. Peace, my niggas.